Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and it's been quite some time since I've actually done a video where you actually get to see my face face to face on the camera. So it feels good to be back on camera and do a video for you instead of just doing it on like a PowerPoint presentation. So for those of you that are new to my channel and are not aware exactly who I am a psychic medium and a clairvoyant. I do have my new show on YouTube. It's called Tea with Spirit. It airs every Monday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't miss it. If you have a question, this show is being compared to like the psychic version of Dear Abby. So if you have any questions about, you know, spiritual topics or things that are going on in your life, you can send one question to me. If you've already submitted your question, then and it hasn't been aired or selected to be on one of the episodes, do not worry. It's probably because there's just so many requests, but I will get to them all, you know, as I can. But basically, you can submit a question to raymondguzman@hotmail.com. Again, that's raymondguzman@hotmail.com. And then on the subject line of your email, you need to have Tea with Spirit. And in the body of your email, have a specific question, and be sure to include an alias, because I'm getting a lot of submissions but no alias, and so I have to read them as anonymous. So if your question is selected, I do select 5 for each episode, and it airs every Monday on my YouTube channel. And basically, I go ahead and give you the tea from Spirit. I answer the question, you know, that you have, and give you beyond the question anything else that Spirit has to offer. So I'm very excited about that. Also wanted to talk about my new book. It's called Starseed Footsteps. If you have not yet picked up a copy, go ahead and go to my website, and if you go to the shop section, you can get an autographed copy of my book. If you don't want an autographed copy, you can always order it from Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. Now, this book has sold out twice on Amazon, so I'm fairly proud of that achievement, and I'm very humble and grateful for that. So today I wanted to talk about apothecary and herbs. I'm more into learning about, you know, herbs and magic and the holistic approach of how a lot of these herbs can be used in day-to-day life. You know, for me specifically, I work a lot with candles, especially since I do psychic mediumship work and I work with a lot of spirits and my spirit guides. I find that, you know, some of these herbs are necessary and very intriguing. Now, a lot of witches use herbs, you know, for spells. So a lot of the things that I'm going to be covering, this is going to be I'm going to shoot for like a 3-part series of this video. So, because otherwise it would be pretty long and I don't want to bore anyone. So, I'm going to be covering at least about, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 8 herbs today on this channel, and I'm going to show you exactly you know, what they are, how they look like. Now, I found this shop. It's a very good shop, and I'll also list that shop in the links below, the description box below. But the shop is called Summerland BB, and they are based out of Pennsylvania. And the website is summerlandbb.etsy.com, and again, I'm going to link that below in the description box below. But basically, I found this shop when I was, you know, going through Etsy. I love Etsy because there's a lot of crystals, there's a lot of herbs, there's a lot of trinkets, amulets for protection. There's a full array of things that you can get, you know, on Etsy. So as I was searching and I was looking there on their website, I came across this cute little shop, and they have a lot of herbs, and I found these 3-inch vials of herbs. There's 24 bottles, and they're called 24 bottles of Wiccan herbs, incense, altar bottles. You know, they can be used for your altar. For those of you that practice magic or witchcraft, you know, you can use that in your altar if you do. If you do altar offerings, they can be used for spell. If you're doing like any kind of spell work, you know, that can help as well. And if you're not like me, if you're not doing really any spell work, you're just doing it for protection and you know, call in the herbs. You can, you know, call in your angels. You can use these herbs for any purposes. It's all about the intent behind it, but I found it's very much, it can amplify the energy of any herb, you know, candle magic that you do. I use them also for candle magic because I do believe, you know, if you use certain herbs, they have a healing property, and it can amplify your and help you manifest, you know, a lot of things that you want to see manifest in your life. So I'm going to show you right now. Let me go ahead and get, okay, so you can see here, I have them right here. I'm going to try to position this. This is the first herb. This is called agrimony. Can you see that? I'm going to see if it focuses here. Sometimes this camera is not good at focusing. And I'm going to also include a screenshot of this. Okay, but you can see it's like a little vial. It's really cute. And it comes with the cork, you know, I think that's what you call that, a cork. And you can just pull it out and then just pour your herbs out, you know, into that. So that's the first one. And agrimony, let me get back in position. Okay, so agrimony is used for protection and divination. So those of you that need some kind of psychic protection or need protection in life because you feel like there's somebody using magic against you, or you're doing any kind of psychic work, clairvoyant work, healing work, you can use it. Agrimony is associated with the planet of Jupiter, and it's also the element of air. So it's associated with that, and it's a masculine. So you wouldn't think that herbs have like a feminine or a masculine association, but I'm learning a lot of things as I'm going too, and they actually do. And it's also associated with Lu and Danu, and it can reverse spells, break hexes, and is used in banishing spells. Add it to a pillow for deep, dreamless sleep. So those of you that maybe have bad dreams and are always, you know, waking up constantly from, you know, dreams that may not be bad, but you just dream a lot and you want to stop it, this would be a good herb that you could use on your pillow, like it says, you know, like I just said. You could use that and it will help you. So the next one is going to be this one. It's called Angelica root. So I don't know if you can see it here. All right, and so Angelica root is used for protection and blessing as well. Let me get back in the camera. And Angelica is associated with the angels, Archangel Michael and Gabriel. It is aligned with the sun and the element of fire, and it's sacred to Venus. Venus is the planet of love. Angelica is commonly used for general protection, especially against evil spirits and hex breaking, as well as general blessing, and it's especially useful for the defense of women. So if you are being attacked by women who may be dark witches or doing magic against you, because not all dark witches are out to get people, you know, they have their own intent of what they're doing. But you know, this is a good herb for blessing and protection. And again, you know, every herb has a different, you know, element that it's associated with. So like if you are working with a fire sign, you know, you may want to use this one in particular. All right, our next one is going to be blue vervain. I'll hold that up here. All right, and so blue vervain is used for protection and purification. Blue vervain is associated with the planet Venus. It is a feminine herb, and it's associated with the element of water. Yeah, water. So that water signs again are going to be Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. It's associated with the Ceridwen, Isis, and Thor. It's also used in midsummer celebrations. So those of you that, you know, are Wiccan would be familiar with the midsummer celebrations. This is an herb that is fairly used, you know, during, you know, it's very common in that. Now, this is one that I actually skipped. I believe this is called marshmallow root, but it's called Althea. Maybe I pronounced that wrong. That's what it looks like. Alright, and Althea is used, or the marshmallow root, is used for protection, clairvoyance, and divination. Althea is used in love and fertility spells. So, like women who would be having trouble conceiving, or women who would, have trouble maybe trying to get pregnant. This would be a good one to use. It's associated with the moon, so the divine feminine, the moon, and Venus, and it's associated with the element of water, and it's a feminine herb. And it's also associated with Aphrodite, the goddess of love, Venus, and Althea. It is a protective and cleansing herb, so it also serves the purpose of cleansing energy. Like I said, when you're doing candle work or any kind of spell work with candles, candle magic, you can use any vast array of these herbs together, or kind of separated. There's a lot of people on YouTube that I've watched a lot of videos about, the herbs and magic, and there's a lot of good channels. If you haven't checked out Madame Pamita, go ahead and check her channel out. It's called I believe the House Parlor of Wonders, but that's her website, I believe. But she's a great person to look at all her YouTube videos. She's a plethora of information. She is a witch, and there's a lot of good YouTube videos that she has that out there, so shout out to her. But this is going to be a good route. And like I was saying, going back and not losing my track of what I was saying, there's a lot of different purposes that you can use herbs. And there's certain channels, certain people that may tell you, you can't mix this herb with this herb, or that's bad to use this herb in this combination. But being part of the craft and learning your craft, I do believe genuinely is to experiment. If you are not experimenting, you're not going to learn. So don't be afraid to experiment with your candles. If you're doing an altar, this doesn't have to be just witches that use herbs for magic or anything like that. There's also El Dia de los Muertos, which is a Hispanic observation of it's a holiday, almost like a holiday. And basically in the Latin community, like Mexico, a lot of people will, believe that the veil between the living and the dead is very thin. And so I'm just giving you kind of like a brief synopsis of that. And basically you have an altar, and you have your loved ones' pictures on there, a candle, and all the food, maybe some of the food that they liked to eat, or if they drank, their favorite bottle of alcohol on that altar. It's like an offering. And just like witches, anything that you would have your own altar, sacred space. And it's believed that the souls of people, your loved ones, your past loved ones, come and they eat that food, or they come to be around you during that time. This is a good time to use your herbs. You can use it for that. If you're just doing using candles for protection, you can use it, use these in your candles. You can sprinkle them in your candles. If you have like a glass candle, like those 7-day candles, or if you have, a regular tapered candle, and it's on a candle holder, you can put like a tray around it and sprinkle some of these herbs to kind of like magnify the energy behind that. So, oops. The next one is going to be dandelion leaf. Okay, and so dandelion leaf is used for divination and wishes. Dandelion leaf is a masculine herb in action, and is associated with the planet of Jupiter. And it's the element of air. So air is going to be Gemini, Aquarius, and I can't remember the other sign off bat, but that is going to be, for the element of air, and both Pisces and Sagittarius. Interesting. And it's also associated with any solar deity or deity like Hecate, Bridget, and Belenos. Magical uses include divination, wishes, and calling spirits. You can use in dream pillows or sachets, like little sachets, like those little velvet pouches with the drawstring, for sleep protection. So again, if you're like astral projecting a lot, and you've had bouts of sleep paralysis, you can use this herb, this root. It's a dandelion leaf. You can use that and put it, on a little sachet, and then put it in your pillowcase at night when you sleep, So that's fairly interesting. And a lot of these herbs that I am mentioning today, a lot of these herbs could actually be found, in your common grocery store, and that I will be covering in these series. So like if you just buy the vials, you know, off of, you know, Etsy or any other place, you can fill them up, you know, and transfer them and have a label. Like these are labeled with herb, and it has the label of what it's for, you know, like a little summary. You could kind of do that to help you as well. I'm going to arrange all of my herbs by alphabet, so that way I have it, you know, down a list and it's easier to access. So eucalyptus is used for healing and protection. It can be used to purify any space, and the magical uses of eucalyptus include protection and attracting healing vibrations. So any one of you that would be listening to this that may need some healing of some sort, you could find that this actually is very helpful for your healing, you know. So let me get into the next one. Okay, the next one is fennel seed. It's fairly common. Oops. Okay, so fennel seed is used for love, purification, courage, divination. Fennel is associated with both the elements of fire and air. It is masculine, and it's associated with Mercury. Mercury is the planet of Gemini. So those of you that are Gemini that would be listening out there, I'm a Gemini. This would be one that you would find very helpful. Magical uses are for confidence, courage, fertility, longevity, love, midsummer protection, psychic protection, purification, and strength. It is a very useful herb that can be ingested, used in sachets, in incense, and around the house. And this is fennel seed. Like I said, most people use fennel seed to cook. So, you know, but for the purpose of this, if you decide to buy it off of this shop, you know, I wouldn't recommend eating any of these herbs or ingesting them. And again, that's just me, but it's up to you if you're familiar with the herbs and whatnot. I would never suggest to eat any of these herbs unless it's something that you are truly, that you bought yourself and really recognize what is in there. You know, or you're familiar, like if you're familiar with fennel seeds, and I've never used fennel seeds for cooking, and you know what it looks like, well then, you know, you can use it. Yeah, you know, and some of the other vials contain like, you know, like sea salt and Himalayan salt. So, and that's going to be in another video for other herbs that I'm going to be covering. The last one that I'm going to be covering today is flax seed, and that's another common herb. Flax seed. And flaxseed is used for money, protection, beauty, psychic powers, healing. It's used to keep peace at home. So if you live in a place like in your home where there's a lot of negativity, a lot of people who are very negative or just not vibrating in a very good, you know, position, this is going to be something that's very useful. You can place it in a bowl to absorb negative energy. It's useful in healing and protection spells. You can carry flaxseed in your wallet or purse to attract money. So for those of you that are having financial difficulties, you may find that something so simple as a flaxseed, you know, putting a little bit of it in, maybe in like a little Ziploc or a little sachet, you know, a little satchel kind of bag with a drawstring, you know, they have a lot of those. So you can just put it in that and then put it in your purse or your wallet and carry it with you, and it can help attract prosperity and abundance to you. So like I said, this is something very new on my channel that I'm going to be covering different topics. A lot of you that have been following me know that I have a very much interest in the Wiccan community and the Wiccan practices, and I do consider myself in some cases like a white witch. But I don't really do a lot of spell work. I mainly do candle magic. And that's what I'm into in herbs now. So I'm learning as I go. This video is not, you know, if I, you know, missed anything or I didn't pronounce anything, I do apologize ahead of time. I'm learning as I'm going, and there's a lot of things that I already know because I used to read a lot of books at a young age of, you know, witchcraft and the occult and whatnot, but it's all behind the intent. You don't have to be afraid of witchcraft or think that all witches are negative. A while back I did a video on this channel. It was called the Dark Magic or Dark Witchcraft Symptoms, you know, and immediately I was attacked by a lot of witches in the community who were, you know, solitary witches, hedge witches, you know, that do, you know, they are gray witches that do different kinds of magic. And they automatically assumed that I was condemning them, and that wasn't the purpose, you know, behind the video. I respect every single person, but when it comes to dark magic, you know, or negative magic, sometimes I understand that it has to be used for certain purposes, but I don't condone that. You know, I do feel like if you're trying to use magic to bend someone's will to make them love you, you know, to a certain point, you know, there is always going to be a repercussion. There's always going to be a price to pay. So you have to be very careful with how you use magic. Not only that, but when you are using dark magic, a lot of people think that they're in control of the spirit realm and the spirits, and that is not the case. When you're dealing with the supernatural, there's no control over that. You don't have dominion over the supernatural, and the supernatural is very powerful, and it can open up doorways and portals to the other side that can release certain entities that are darker, and I've seen it before. So that's why I'm speaking from experience. I've seen it happen to people when I've done readings, people that have, you know, have family members that have dark spiritual attachments, or it's a demonic case, and that's something that I don't specialize, so I couldn't exorcise that person. Even though I know how to do that, I couldn't do it. You know, it would have to be someone of a religious faith or someone who's like a demonologist. So that's why I say, when you're using magic, just the takeaway from this video is to be sure that you're using it with the highest intent of all concern, and it's coming from a place of love, not to kind of, you know, pull people. A lot of people that use magic, especially for love spells, you know, to bend the will of someone, to make them, force them to love them or to have them with them. The repercussion of that is that that relationship in most cases is not going to last, and there's going to be some negative effects from that down the road, creating karmic cycles, dark karmic cycles, like you repeating the same thing, or relationships suffering and not prospering because, again, magic was used. So again, you have to be very careful with what you're using. I don't have all the answers. I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm a witch that has been, you know, doing this kind of work for 30 years and I know everything that there is, because that would be very presumptuous and very you know, condescending and very just full of ego, and I'm not that person. I'm learning, and so as I'm learning and I'm getting this information, I want to expand my knowledge and use my platform to educate the public on my channel. So I hope you did enjoy this video. I will be doing another series, so this is part 1 of the herbs, and I'm going to title this probably like Apothecary, because that's exactly what it is. It's all about herbs, so I'm going to be like, you know, Apothecary 101 herbs. And so I hope you found this video useful. If you have any comments of any other types of videos that you would like for me to do on this channel, I do celebrity videos, I do horoscope videos weekly, monthly, and yearly, and also I have the you know, the Tea with Spirit, and basically all kinds of other stuff on my YouTube channel. But thank you so much. If you did like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can go to my website. That's www.raymondguzman.net/shop, and also be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and that handle is @Psychic Medium Ray. So blessings and love and light. Have an amazing day.